not sacrifice yourself at the altar of motherhood. And let me tell you, ladies, there are many of you who are going to watch this. Some of you are mothers, some of you are going to be mothers. And if you get nothing else from this video, remember you have destinies that are waiting for you, that are beyond motherhood.
Absolutely.
And that you need to take care of you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Maju Diaries. My name is Warimo.
And my name is Njeri. Guys, welcome back. I don't know, I've forgotten my one. It's because my parents are here. But as you guys can see, we have somebody here who looks like me, or I look like her. Which one is it?
We look like each other.
We look like each other. Yes. Nimekuwa nikimba hapa, oh, Coach Korry, my mother, Coach Korry, my mother. Here she is. Tumewaletea my mother to speak on our episode today. If you're new here, karibuni sana. We're Maju Diaries. We do life huku Maju here in the US. Two Kenyan girls just figuring it out, yeah?
Yes.
And if you haven't done the thing, do the thing. Sijui mnangoja nini? We are bringing you great people. I brought for you my sister, my mother. My father is next. He's actually behind the camera. But yes, Mom, please introduce yourself.
Yes.
Wow, okay. I don't think I had seen myself here. I'm usually the one on the other side or recording myself. But thank you so much, ladies, for having me here. My name is Coach Korry. Now in this setup, if it's Mama Njeri, you know. But I am very, very, very honored and humbled to be here. And I am looking forward to having an amazing conversation with you ladies.
Oh my God. Honestly, this is one of my most awaited episodes. Like when we mentioned having Mom come on the episode, I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait. Because you guys do not know what a treasure this woman right here is. And because you guys have experienced Njeri, these two, same was up. So you guys are in for a treat.
Yes.
But today, in honor of Mother's Day, we wanted to come in and have a conversation with a great mom. I think, Mama Njeri, you've done a great job with your girls, and we just want to reflect a little bit of motherhood. We have had episodes where me and Njeri have talked about a little bit about motherhood, but we are not experts. We just want to hear it from someone who's done it and done it well. But we do know in between all that, it's not always
Walk in the park.
It ain't a walk in the park. So we want to focus a little bit on motherhood and just plug in Mother's Day, like happy Mother's Day to everybody watching this episode. So, Njeri, you want to kick us off?
Now you've thrown the ball in my
I have.
Gosh, I'm shy. I'm shy. Guys, I think things feel different when you're doing it with your partner. I can even sweat. Okay, sawa, Mom.
Are you also sweating, Mom?
No. I'm like, Who is
Mama? Okay, so Mom, tell us, how would you describe your journey of going into motherhood, being in motherhood, and never ending motherhood? Even if we're out of your house, you're still our mother. Tell us about that journey.
Okay, first of all, that part, never ending motherhood, I didn't know about. Nobody told me. I thought once they grow, they go, you're good.
You're good.
You know? But on a more serious note, motherhood is very different for different people. For me, it was such a blessing. You're the firstborn. So I had no idea what that was going to look like. And I say that because I need to give you a little bit of a backstory.
Yes, please.
I come from a very interesting childhood. I did not have both my parents to raise me.
Okay.
And so my mom was a single mom, and my dad died when we were young, and even then there was drama. And so we didn't grow up in a way that, you know, you're the firstborn, you're this amazing kid. No, we grew up African. Wajiro, my Kikuyu name is Wajiro. Wajiro, have the children eaten? You know, Wajiro, we like, for the longest, my mother got rid of house helps when we were very young. So I took on the role, you know, that firstborn role.
Yeah.
I was a mini mother. You know, I learned how to cook chapos when I was in primary.
Oh,
you
wow.
know, ugali, the wax. So I didn't know what motherhood was really like. Now, the flip side is, it was something I looked forward to. And I think for me, it's been very rewarding, but it's also a very bittersweet experience.
Okay.
Because as a mother, you want the best for your children, but these kids don't come with a manual. You know, what's this one?
What do you mean?
Come with a manual. But then there's one time I was like, God, you have to give me a manual. I can't do this. I don't know. Because remember, you're trying to raise kids the way you were raised, and you're in America, and me, I was raised in Kenya.
Yeah.
I was not raised in America.
Yeah.
And I was raised for charazaing.
Chapa, chapa.
You know, then you're in a country where you can't do things like that.
Yeah.
So
And the kid is kidding. The kid is...
and then, you know, they trying you. They want to see how far. Every kid does that.
Every kid
you know?
does that, yeah.
So it's been an amazing experience. I have learned a lot about myself through motherhood. I will say, when Njeri was born, I didn't know, and I've told you this before, I didn't know you can love someone like that.
I agree with that 100%.
I didn't know. When Njeri came out and I was given, you know, the baby, I remember, and I'm like, why am I crying? I mean, there was just something that I experienced in terms of love that I didn't know was possible. The person I loved the most up to that point was my own family, my own mother, my siblings, my husband. But this is a different dimension.
different.
And I feel like that's what God's love must feel like.
I've mentioned that to you,
Yes,
haven't I?
You know, it's a love that and if you haven't been a mother, and maybe there's some people who God has given that grace to have that love, but now you can understand when you're a mother why a mother will fight for a thief.
Oh,
A
yeah.
child who is a thief.
Yeah.
The rest of you are like, he's a thief.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or she's a thief. But the mother is like, no,
my
never
child.
giving up. Even though you're angry and you say stuff to that kid, but in your heart, you're like, oh God, please help my kid.
Yes.
Oh, you know, behind the scenes, you don't want to show the kid everything,
Yeah.
but behind the scenes. And so motherhood is a journey that also has brought a lot of tears. Oh my God. They will make you cry. They will make you cry. From when they are small and they are sick and you've given them Tylenol and ibuprofen and there's nothing else to do. But I was also very blessed. This was an amazing kid. I remember some of the things Njeri used to do and say. She was an amazing kid. She was special.
Msinichome.
Such a trauma, by the way. I'm trying. I am trying. No, but you are a good kid.
That's good.
Yeah,
Oh.
generally.
So when you say motherhood has, of course you say it has its challenging part, but you said it's also rewarding.
Yes, it is.
Can you tangibly tell us some things that you can say, wow, this is some of the most rewarding things I got or have gotten from being a mom?
Yeah, I think for me, there's different dimensions for me in the motherhood experience. And there's also obviously certain mistakes I have made. But number one, when I talked about the love, and especially when they're little and you're a mom, so you know, coming home to a child who loves you regardless of what your day was like. They don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they've just seen you, they light up. And, you know, I was working full time. So being able to pick her up from the daycare and, you know, we would sing along, or, you know, she would, you know, just talk to me in the car, mommy this, mommy that. And it's so innocent that whatever your boss said doesn't matter. You know, whatever you're going through doesn't matter. It's this little bundle that God has put in your life that is bringing so much joy that you can't buy. I know people talk about pets, but it ain't the same. We've had a pet thanks to Miss here. Yeah. That's the only reason we had kitty cat.
It's for a different reason.
Okay, true, but it was because of you.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. But we loved kitty cat. We all loved kitty cat. But kitty cat is not human.
It's not.
You know?
Yeah. And
there was just, and I remember even one time, and Sitauliwa is my we were having a domain, my husband and I, and Njeri was young. And one of the things my husband said to me, that it's so nice in spite of whatever he and I would go through, that coming home, Njeri would hear her father and run to the door.
Oh.
You know, she would just hear the garage opening, and she knew that was her father because nobody else would be opening the garage. And she'd be like, Daddy! You know, and because she's, Njeri's daddy's girl, like for real. Njeri has never been beaten by her father, you know.
Must be nice.
Well, I compensated. I took care of
You balanced it out.
I took care of his shortfalls there. Remember me, I don't come from a place where we were
parenting.
No, I parented the Kenyan way. Yeah. So I think for me, that joy that, you know, the children bring, and I've seen that even with, I thought when Njeri was born, that was it, that I would not have that experience with Shiro. Shock on me. I was like, you can't love someone else. In fact, I remember being pregnant with Shiro and thinking, there's no way. There's just no way I can love another child the way I love Njeri.
You know, it's funny you say that, because that's literally how I feel right now. I'm like, okay, how do I have capacity? The way I love my child right now.
Shock.
Where does that capacity come from?
Shock on you. When I tell you that mothers have the character of God, the capacity to love, that God, when you hear God loves us, you are like, there's no way God can love you and love me. No. Let me tell you, Shiro was born, I went through the same thing. Drama, crying, you know. And she was a very different child. I had Shiro much later, 6.5 years later. You know, so it was a different pregnancy. It was a difficult pregnancy. And so it was, you know, I had her when I was young. And so after I had the baby, after my body came back, I mean, you couldn't tell I had a baby.
Okay.
Wacha Shiro came and the fat was fattening.
It was sitting in all the right places.
Yes, but yet, I love that child so much. And I remember thinking, wow, God, I don't know how you do this.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I don't know how you do this. Because each child brings something so different to the family dynamic. You know, this one is the one who tests me. Shiro will look and be like, I ain't trying that. By the like, not my cup of tea. But at the same time, she has her own very strong personality.
Yeah.
You know, she's stubborn in a quiet way.
This one is stubborn in a loud way.
This one is just stubborn. This one is me. You know, Shiro is her father in that sense. You know, the different personalities. You know, and so it's been very, very rewarding. And I will say this: most rewarding now from a spiritual standpoint is for God to entrust you with the destinies of 2 lives.
Oh wow!
That, you know, especially for us as Africans, we look at motherhood as an accomplishment. We look at motherhood as that thing you're supposed to do. And so there's even a template on how to raise the kids. And I did go through that, but as you know, I'm Coach Korry. So now, understanding it from that perspective, that this is God's workmanship. I have been entrusted with these children, you know, to lead them up to what God has planned and purposed for them. Not what I want. Please note, what God wants.
Absolutely.
And that's very challenging when you come at it, especially from a cultural perspective. Because you have your hopes and dreams for that child, but do your hopes and dreams align with God's hopes and dreams for that child?
Preach, Mama.
Do you see what I'm saying? And so I have allowed these children to do things that other people consider crazy. Njeri will tell you, I never one time told them they have to bring A's home.
It's true. She'll tell me I can do better. Because like in episode 1, what did I say? Me and Masomo? So my mother knew. She knew. So yeah, she's speaking truth.
When you are going to do your KCPE and even your KCSE, I told you, and even your friends, her friends used to come to the car, you know, at so when I would go to pick her up, and I would tell them, because they'll tell me, Mom, we are nervous. I tell them, relax. It's not the end of the world. In fact, you'll be shocked. I remember what I used to tell your friends. 4 years from now, it won't matter what grade you had.
Absolutely.
You know, so for us as parents to put all this pressure on our children to perform according to our, you know, now we raise from a place of trauma,
Yep.
So we are putting expectations on our children based on those things we hope, we wish to have achieved, or we want the society.
That part.
Kwanza, let me tell you.
Tell us.
Let me now talk about Kenya, because I raised these people in Kenya for a certain time. This is what happens. Okay. You think they're the only ones who are going through drama of exams?
No.
Your child, everyone knows your child is in standard 8. So what is the school address? We send success cards, so you get all these success cards. So the first thing when the results come out, what did she get? Woe unto you. If your child did not perform according to
their standards.
Yes. They look at you like, hiya. And they don't tell you, but you can see it in their looks, the disappointment. Like, that kid is daft just like you, eh?
Oh my God. Wow.
You know me, I was told that when I didn't do well in my Form 4, someone told me to my face, how daft are you? Yeah? Wale wengine wakisoma ulikuwa wapi?
Oh my God.
I was like, hiya, I got told.
She got told.
Okay, so I was like, I would never put that kind of pressure. When she wrote our younger one, decided.
She decided.
Decided.
It was not a conversation of discussion.
Yes, she came home one day. She's in standard 7, third term. She comes home and she says, Mom and Dad, by the Shiro is the funniest in the family. Yeah? Shiro is, yani, her and her father, they're the comedians. We may look like we are, we ain't got none of them. They're just quiet and it takes time. Yeah, as we're the energy, high energy. But she came home and at the dining table, she used to give us stories every day of the happenings of the Road Christian, what they did in their class, how they were chapward, how they saw teacher coming, nini. Yani, she would give us stories. So on one day, she decided, I have a thing I need to tell you people. We're like, okay, I am not doing KCPE. We're like, eh?
Okay. Fafanua.
We're like, Auntie! Yeah, I'm not doing KCPE. You're not? No. So what are you doing? She said, I'm going to an American school. You are? Okay, tell us more.
How?
And I think we had created an environment in our family where we could have those kinds of conversations.
Right.
You know, that the children could come and challenge our thinking on their future.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even know we had created that, but I won't lie. I won't sit here and say, oh, we had done all this. No, we just had we just had the ability to have those conversations. And I asked her, I remember asking her, why do you not want to do KCPE? She said, because I'm going to America to do my bachelor's.
That's what she said.
And we were like, okay.
How old was she? 12? All of 12 or 11?
I don't remember, but first of all, she was small. She's still small, but she was really small. She was really small. But she was having a very for real and serious conversation about her future and destiny.
Right.
And so I remember thinking, okay. And she said, because Njeri had been a victim of the system. And we're not going to get into the whole Kenyan education system, but there are certain flaws in the Kenyan education system that penalize children who are in private schools. They call it standardization. They cut off certain marks, blah, 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 blah. And she said, I don't want to go through what Njeri went through. Remember, these two have about 6 years gap, eh? So she has enough leeway to see what her sister has gone through. Like when Njeri did her O levels, they didn't mark
They didn't mark my art project.
Yes, and they not just her, the whole country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so all the kids who did art that year were failed because you're supposed to do it by two. They divide, there's practical and theory. I can't tell you had gotten many eggshells.
No, there was practical, theory, and then the project.
Yes. Project was the eggshell
the
thing.
mosaic, hiyo.
Hey, akina tulikuwa tumeitisha mayai mpaka from my friend Matthew. Thank you, Matthew from Valentine Cake House. Where were we gonna get all those eggs?
By the way, either you eat them.
Yeah, you can't. That thing was big. It was big. So anyway, Shiro came and told us that, and as a mother, I said okay, and I had her spirit, and that's the other thing. As moms, and they really even as parents, do we listen to the spirit of our children?
Right.
Or are we just listening to the culture and to society?
Motto.
You see?
Wow.
And so we began a journey of bringing, of actualizing her dream. And that's how we ended up back.
Yeah.
Because we it's not, she's not here, so we don't want to discuss her story too much. But basically, God used that child to open doors, serious doors. And we moved in the miraculous. Even how we went for her interview with you. And they said, oh, she's too young. She can't assimilate with the older kids. And we're like, but here's her sister who is 6.5 years older than her. And they're like, oh, and they got her into RVA. I mean, just things falling into place, even financial doors opening, because RVA is not 2 shillings.
Yeah.
We are paying Thika Road 20K a term, and we are going from 20K a term to 200K a term. And we're like, what? And just being able, okay, now one of my strengths is faith. Okay. My spiritual gifts. And just being able to, allow God to show up. In our lives as a family,
using this little baby
due to this child. And that's why I say, for me, when you ask me what are the rewards of parenting, some of it has been my spiritual walk being strengthened.
Right.
Because they will tell you, we had declarations every day, isn't it? Going to school, I declared things over their lives. Do you remember how we used to say? But I can't even remember.
I remember putting on the full armor.
It used to start something along, may you be a light of Christ unto the other children. Yeah. May his face shine upon you. Yeah. May he, I can't remember. And we used to recite this thing every single day.
Wow.
And they would put on the full armor of God. You're the head, you're not the tail, you're above, you're not beneath. And we put on the full armor of God, the helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, blah, 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 the whole thing. And then would finish with no weapon fashioned against us shall prosper. We are more than we are more than conquerors in Christ Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's how we would drop them in school every day. And so our spiritual walk as a family was strengthened. And we started to recognize our seasons, isn't it? As a family. So now for me as a mother, I had to go deeper in God to be a mother.
3 in the morning.
I would wake up. Kuomba nimeomba. And then learning how to, just learning, ask her friends. If she brought a friend home, tell Abuse.
Yeah, if I brought someone home and she doesn't feel them,
The spirit. No?
she won't even tell me.
I won't tell her.
She won't tell me anything. She'll go, oh, that's your friend. She'll go, she'll pray. Then like a month later, she'll ask, by the way, how is so and so? Like, tulikosana. I prayed them away. You prayed them away.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I used to tell God? Father, every destiny killer on the destinies of my children, I disconnect right now in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
We align destiny helpers. Now let me ask you, okay, if you have destiny killers as their friends, where will the destiny helpers come?
There's no space
Thank
left.
you. Okay. If I tell her not to do it, okay, not to hang around so and so, that's what I was told growing up. Should I see you? And now the more I was told, the more I hang out with them.
Yeah.
Okay. So I knew that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay. So I knew this, the Bible says we do not war against flesh and blood, but with principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm not going to, that friend is not the issue. Okay. It is the devil
Yes.
that is fighting the destiny of my child. So I disconnect. Boyfriends that have no...
It's true.
tunakata.
Kabisa.
Yeah. Any destiny killing activities. Yeah. Father, we refuse. Yeah. Let me tell you, I would wake up in the morning. And one of the other things I'll tell you, ask her. I used to tell him, I want to know everything you dream. I want to know your dreams. They have even had dreams where they are being initiated into occults. You see, parenting today, we are so detached.
Yeah.
We don't understand that this child that God has given you is here, according to Ephesians 2:10. I started by telling you, she is God. We all of us, we are God's workmanship. But now for me, as a mother, I'm looking at Njeri. She is God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works. So she was not just created to be fine. She has an assignment to do good works, which God prepared in advance for her to do. So for me as a mother, my responsibility is to align her with that assignment. There are destinies that are counting on her. Okay? So it is my job to make sure, even in the realm of the spirit, mambo iko sawa. Okay? You don't want to go to church, you move out of my house. She will tell you. Yeah? Because that God you don't want to serve is the God that's feeding you here every day.
Yeah.
Okay? And it wasn't easy. I stumbled along the way because I hadn't seen it done before me. So I'm not here to say that I did it well. But the little I knew to do, I did.
Oh my God, so powerful.
If that makes any sense.
Oh, it makes all the sense. It makes all the sense.
Okay, I've even gone to questions you didn't ask.
1 second, guys, as we pull up our questions again.
No, that is so powerful. No, one thing I really appreciate about what you're saying is that you intentionally realized how the way you were parented didn't work and you were intentional about doing it differently, and you did that. Because as you say, some of us are trying to parent the way we were parented because that's all we know. As you say, parenting doesn't come with a manual. Or you're given, you're handed this child, and I feel like the best manual that you say, you just went back to God. You
That's
just
the
went back
only-
to
That's
God.
the only one I know. Wow. That's the only one I know. And let me tell you, when you understand that what you have been entrusted with is not a child to make you happy, is not a child to build your house, is not a child to feed you when you're old, but a destiny. That's what you've been entrusted with, a destiny. That will be a witness. Jesus said, be witnesses for me in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the world. Now, you do your part. Whether that child chooses that path, that is between them and God.
Yeah.
But I will never stand before God wondering whether what I did was right.
Was right.
In terms of bringing them to the knowledge of Christ.
Yeah.
And not just the knowledge of Christ in a religious manner, but them watching and experiencing Christ in me, the hope of all glory. How many times we did things? There's a time we were broke, and we need to go to Ihororo, to Shoshos. We had a custom that every December 12th we would go to Shags. Nini.
Jamhuri.
For get together.
Yeah, and it was a thing we did
Yeah.
to my husband's side of the family. And this particular time, we really didn't have money. I don't know what had happened. Things had just, business was slow. And we had, is it 1,000?
You tell me I was the child.
No, you know, I mean, it's she who knows this story. We had 1,000. And Bash was about, the father was about to call the mom and say, you're not gonna make it. Because that 1,000 was just fuel.
Yeah.
And you have to go with shopping. I mean, you can't just
Something,
show up
yeah.
in Shags
Yeah.
like that. So I said, no, we are going. And we had 2 days to raise money.
Figure it out.
And I remember, I think it's she who knows that story, because I told her we have 1,000 between us and Jesus. And the following day, a customer came into the shop, ordered some things, and those things, they left a deposit.
Christmas is
Come
here.
through.
You know that deposit that makes you say, Asante, yes. And to Shags we went, and even when the time we went to Windsor, we had no money. And I was like, life is for the living.
Yes.
Yeah? We had 5K. And it was a Sunday. And that day Windsor was calling me. And I was like, come on, let's just go.
Yeah.
How I convinced the father, I don't know. But then to date, I don't know how I convinced your father. But it was a step of faith. I was like, surely you're telling me, and this is now where my faith would show up as a mom. I'm like, you're telling me if we spend this 5K, this family comes to an end. That our God, yani, can't
That's
hack.
the end of our God.
That is it. Kumeisha. We are not eating again. We are not drinking again. It's over. We are waiting now to die.
Hakuna.
Twende Windsor. We went by the way, we blew 5K that day. It was a Sunday afternoon. We had just come from church. We went and we blew that money at Windsor. The kids were very happy.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, these are memories. These are the
Yes.
things that matter.
Yeah. They remember forever.
So for me, my faith, I will say my faith. Motherhood for me, my greatest reward is strengthening and knowing God more. And knowing that God who is fun-loving. Knowing that God who can be very serious. Knowing that God who can put you through the fire and look like he's not there. And at the same time knowing he still loves you.
Yeah. Amen. Wow.
Okay, sorry, you are going to ask a question.
At this point,
You got to.
now what do you do? Eh?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No. This is really good, ma'am. This is really, really good. So I know you've talked a lot about how some of the most amazing things that you did as a mother, and we are so grateful because we can see the fruits of that. On the other side, we don't always get everything right.
True.
What would you say were some of the, not mistakes really, but things
No,
you are
let's
like,
call them
look
what
at
they are.
mistakes.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's call them
Mistakes
what they
of
are.
motherhood where you're like, looking back, I wish I did this or I could have done this different.
Yes. I alluded to earlier that the children, neither one came with a manual. And also, the template I was using was being built as we went along.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was also knowing God in that process. So obviously, along the way, there are certain things you do that are not correct. And one of the things today looking back, and I didn't know it at the time, today looking back, I think one of the things I would tell any young mom is get to know yourself first.
Okay.
Get to know who you are as an individual. Get to know your strengths. Get to know your weaknesses. Get to know, like for me, I should have, and we didn't know about personal development back then.
Yeah.
And that's what now I'm teaching now. Because, and I guess I teach at it based on my own personal experience. Because I didn't know who Korry is, who Korry was created to be, who Korry was destined to be by God. You keep hearing me talking about Ephesians 2:10. I didn't know that I am God's workmanship. So I parented from a cultural perspective to a certain extent, even though there are things I did different. And I didn't parent with the end in mind. I didn't parent with as a mom, what do I really want to see this child become in terms of character? Not career, not talking about career, but in terms of their own relationship with God. Yes, there are certain things I may have done right, but because I had my own deficiencies,
Yeah.
I had my own traumas. Remember me telling you, I was raised by a traumatized mother. She had her own drama. She was abused.
Yeah.
And so there are certain things she would do out of her own trauma. So I carried that trauma into my marriage, into my motherhood experience. And so there are certain triggers that come as a result of that.
Yeah.
And so those children don't know that. You
It's
understand?
not their fault even.
It's not their fault. But today when I look back, I can see there are places I overcompensated.
Okay.
And let me give you an example. This one's going to be a little funny, and don't laugh.
Okay.
It's funny.
In my head.
Oh, okay.
I remember growing up because of our situation at home, my mom really struggled. My mom was a secretary. And so she really struggled. You can imagine she left my dad to start a new life. So we went, it's a long story, but long story short, she built a nice wooden house. My mother is very classy. My hair, I did not take after her. The closest person to this one, my mom is very classy. So she built this nice place in the middle of nowhere. And so she tried, she really tried. But there were some basics we didn't have. And I imagine that also came from her own upbringing.
Yeah.
Things that were not a priority.
Yeah.
Or even the economy at the time. So like underwear was
Optional.
I don't want to say optional, but
It was kind of a luxury item.
yeah.
or
And remember
not.
back then there was no Me Too show toy.
Yeah.
So you're going to Deacons to buy underwear, and you're going to the stores, proper Dukas to buy underwear. And so I didn't have much in the way of underwear. And my sister, my late sister, and please note, we were 5 years apart. We shared underwear. And you wore it until you tied a knot. You know, it's torn. Alafu, the elastic,
It has gone.
and you're playing kati, and you're doing all these things. Mara you have, Mara you don't have. Mara, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so now when I became a mother, let me tell you, I bought you people.
Too late. By the way, I still have. Is that why I have so many? That makes so much sense. You know, sometimes I open my drawer. Like, there's only 7 days in a week. Why do I have 30 underwear?
I bought panties for these people.
Yeah.
Because I could not imagine
Them not,
not having underwear
Yeah.
or going to school and having to pull. Because you know you're going for PE and all this. The school doesn't want to know. They're not interested in your
Yeah.
personal issues.
Yeah.
You know. So that, you know, when I say overcompensating. But now what you don't realize you're doing is that sounds very mild. And it doesn't sound like there's any effect later. But that child doesn't know to do without. So now you can't go and start removing all the... Yeah. You already done it. Ushanunua.
Yeah.
You see, and I look back, I can see there are some things I did very right, and there are some things I really messed up. Like I feel like there are areas I overcompensated that have spoiled these people.
Like traveling.
No, I won't even say, okay, traveling. Okay, traveling.
Travel, mommy.
Okay.
Mommy, let me tell you how bad we are. Me, this family. Hey, when was it? Last year for your birthday. We create a group. She's like, guys, I want to go to Mexico City for my birthday. I think it was random, guy. I said, sema ngwe. So I looked up flights. I take a screenshot. I sent it to the group.
It started like a joke.
So we're seeing sijui flights are 200, 300. So I'm like, guys, are we buying today? She's like, oh, Shiro is like, let me see
But
if
Shiro is not impromptu.
let
Me
me
and
see if I
her-
have time off, nini. But like, Shiro, you'll figure it out. Semeni ngwe.
Actually, we got on a call. We got on. It started. You and I were talking, and after we moved from the church to our call, and we were working. It was a work day.
I hope no one sees
But
this.
it was it was during lunch break, because that's the only way we got she.
That's true.
Yeah, it was during lunch break. But because we were like, can we get she? We looked at the time. It's lunch, so yeah. So we called her, and she was able to come on a call. Do you know?
We bought the tickets that
Right there.
same day.
That is.
We didn't have money.
That
we
is
figured
so
it out.
extroverted of you guys.
Oh yeah.
But that's life. That's the joy of
Wow,
life.
Mr. Walter.
Eh.
Ah. Please,
Let us sit
come
and
with
plan.
a 6-month plan.
Now,
He's learning slowly.
but now, okay, that they got from me.
So when she says it's over, it was. Do you feel like that was part of
No,
overcoming?
no, that's not even the part I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm just talking about learning how to sacrifice.
Okay.
I'm talking about how to, when you learn how to sacrifice, and because I'm seeing it, and I won't even talk about my kids. I see it with this generation. You guys have grown up in affluence. You may not think so because you don't know poverty. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, it makes sense. Like we were brought up when you guys have kind of made it, so we didn't have a lot of luck. There was already some.
You see, like
cushion.
now me, I go, like you see, I'm telling you, being brought up by a single mom, would wake up in the morning, have to go to the stage. We were talking this with Shosho the other day. Have to go to the stage early in the morning to catch the 7 o'clock bus. And it was a 30-minute walk to the stage. Get to Serena, Shuka there, climb up, we're in Nairobi Primary, climb up, and somehow not get hit by any cars. You know, on Mamlaka, whatever that road is.
Yeah.
Going home, at one point we're living in Kangemi, so would cross that road. It's not Wayaki. That road when you're going to university. University Way.
University Way, yeah.
Would cross those roads. And when we moved to Rirouge, cross Kenyatta Avenue. I mean, and just the grace of God and learning life skills. Now, you did learn some of those things because I would throw you in the deep end sometimes. I reached a point I was like, you know what, it's sink or swim. You know, but I felt like that was late.
Really?
Yeah, because there are some things, okay, you're okay, but if I was to do parenting, let me put it this way, if I was to do parenting again, there are some things I would be more intentional with, because now I know better.
Okay.
In terms of allowing you to have experiences, not take things away from you, but allow you to have experiences that help you appreciate that life can go south on you.
Okay. Okay, now that makes sense. Because you're, it's a kind of tricky balance. Like you say, you don't want to take it away from
I
them.
mean, you can't move out at it so that you can prove to your kids poverty is real. No, that doesn't make sense. But there's a friend of ours who was raised in affluence. And today I look back and I see those parents did something right. They were raised in affluence. But let me tell you, the parents made it very clear. Everything is from your mother and I. You know, so don't assume this, don't assume this, don't assume you'll be dropped for practice, don't assume, you understand? Like, let me give you an example. In fact, I've remembered this one. When she turned 18, you're laughing.
Continue.
We told her, why don't you go for driving? Because we're in Kenya. So here it's 16, Kenya is 18.
Yeah.
Why don't you go for driving so you can start driving yourself, blah, blah, blah. Now, Madam here was like, I'm not interested.
I still don't like driving.
I'm not refusing. But how does that sound to you, Irimo?
Woo! I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Imagine.
I'm not interested.
Isn't that a privilege talk?
It is.
It's very privileged, you know. And I'm like, hiya. So that her reason was so that she is not made to drop her sister in school and run errands. That is brat. B-R-A-T, capital brat mentality.
That is definitely a place of privilege.
You hear wisdom. You know what she told me? That money, I want to learn Kikuyu.
See, I learned.
This is a child who used to speak Kikuyu fluent, and I'll give her this. We took her to daycare here in the US. We were sent back home with our child. Your child does not speak English. Because we had taught her, I used to speak to her in Kikuyu. So now we had to switch the language at home. Okay. But I was like, okay, Kikuyu we can learn here. If you really want to do Kikuyu, I got you. She's like, no. I want to learn Kikuyu professionally.
Yeah. We supported a business.
Where is the Kikuyu?
Yeah. Somewhere in the back. We just need to find the key to open the door.
We need to find the key.
We need to find the key.
Fast forward, how many years later you needed now to learn to drive?
Like 3 years later?
She realized it is not serving her well. But do you see what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
There's that kind of reasoning. Me, I would have been like, hey, okay, kinda. Yeah, I can drive, I can get a car. You know, those kinds of things. So those are some of the mistakes when you ask me. Now, the final one, and this is advice I give to every mother. You're not Jesus. Please. You are not.
Yeah.
you are not Jesus. This thing of sacrificing yourself at the altar of motherhood is a lie. Wow. Is a lie. You see your son, and God blessing you, any other children God is going to give you. They will leave you.
They will.
They will leave you. And they will not call you because they are figuring out their lives.
Their own lives, yeah.
That is when it's going to hit you. I remember sitting in my office one time. I had tried to call these people. Guys, come. Let's, I love cooking. And I really love cooking. And I love hosting. So I'll be like, come, I'll make you chapos, I'll make you ndaos. They're like, we're busy. And it's true. Siko ubaya, they are busy.
They're busy.
They are young. They are figuring out their lives.
Yeah.
And my husband had traveled. And so I was in this house alone for about a month, not seeing anyone.
Oh, wow.
And I remember sitting in my office. And this was just after COVID-ish. And I thought to myself, who am I? And ladies,
Without my children.
without the title of mother, without the title of wife, without the title of sister and daughter, who am I? And I could not answer that question.
Wow.
I knew I had a problem. And I started to look back at my life, and I realized I had sacrificed myself at the altar of serving others in a way that I had not been called to. Wow. It's not serving that is the problem. It is the manner in which I did it. So while I loved and enjoyed motherhood, I come from a culture that told me that I don't matter. So I would see these children as the project. Make sure they have everything they need, but I should be okay going without. Whether it is mental health, whether it is going to the salon, whether it is going to my nail. Yani, I had reduced myself to going to the estate salon, not because it's a bad place to go, but because I felt I was not worthy of going to a high-class place. And I remember Njeri one time told me something. She never remembers these things. But one time, I used to go to Dubai a lot because I had a
This
shop.
one I remember.
Yeah. I used to go to Dubai a lot. And so what I would do, because I was shopping for the shop, and then I'd always make sure I'd shop for the kids and for hubby. But I never shopped for me. Because I was raised, remember my mother raised me very sacrificially herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was raised knowing you sacrifice for the family.
Family.
And I remember her asking me one time, Mommy, you always bringing us things. And it's true, I would bring them candies, clothes. I mean, they always had the most trending things.
Yeah.
And she said, but you never buy for yourself. And she said to me, if this is what motherhood is. No, in fact, you said, if this is what marriage is, I don't want to get married.
Oh, wow.
Did I say marriage or... I think I said if this is what being a mother is,
yes,
I don't
yes,
want
yes.
to be a mom.
Yes, yes, she did say that. And I remember thinking, that was a wake-up call. That was a wake-up call for me. And I was like, whoa. And
I am here too.
not that anything changed, but I remember that vividly. Because I didn't have the tools I needed to make that shift.
Right.
I didn't know how to change that. Okay, what she has spoken has checked me. But how do I change it?
That's good. Yeah.
How do I change this? Okay, the mothers around me are doing the same thing.
Right.
They are sacrificing themselves. So they've lost themselves. And then like raising your kids in Kenya, your mama nani. I remember landing in Kenya with these people. And in the estate, first thing, what you're introducing yourself, I'm saying I'm Korry. They're like, and what are your children called?
Yeah.
Njeri and Shiro.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mama
Mama
Njeri.
Njeri,
I'm
yes.
like, oh, okay. That's how I became Mama Njeri. Like, I was blindsided by that one.
Oh, wow.
You see, and it's said well, it's not said badly, but you don't realize a little piece of your identity has gone. When people are calling you by your husband, like there's so many people who call me Wabashia, and it's fine. But there's more to me than Wabashia. What about Korry?
Yeah.
What happened to Korry?
Yeah.
And so I will tell any mother, please, do not sacrifice yourself at the altar of motherhood. And let me tell you, ladies, there are many of you who are going to watch this. Some of you are mothers. Some of you are going to be mothers. And if you get nothing else from this video, remember you have destinies that are waiting for you that are beyond motherhood.
Absolutely.
And that you need to take care of you. I ended up with mental health issues. I had nervous breakdowns because I didn't understand I needed to take care of me. And nobody around me understood that I also needed to be taken care of because I was the giver.
The giver.
I was the giver.
Yeah.
You see? And so, because of that, I am still learning how to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And it's something I've learned when I'm 50. Jesus! I mean,
Yeah.
now I'm turning 56 this year. Okay? But it's been a struggle that wasn't necessary. And so for me, that's my biggest takeaway. You're not Jesus.
Wow. Yeah, I heard
You're
that.
a mother. You're not Jesus. Yes, and there's more to you than being a mother.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing to be a mother. And if you have a mother, appreciate them.
Yeah.
Because until you become a mother, you don't know the tears of a mother. You don't know. You will never know how many times I have cried because of you. Not because of necessarily something you've done, but crying out even to God.
Absolutely.
You know.
For their destinies and their future and everything.
Even, well, let's not even complicate it. Many times, your child is sick. You give them Tylenol, whatever. You take them to the doctor. They are not getting well. You feel so helpless. You feel so, you're like, now what do I do? You know, now it's just you and God. Now you're crying to God. You are the one waking up every 2 hours. You can't sleep. Every 2 hours to go and check, is the child okay? Is the child, that child will never remember. And so don't parent thinking that child will remember. And that's why we have toxic mothers.
Oh, talk about it.
I didn't think I was going to go there. That wasn't the plan.
No, please talk about it.
You know,
Yeah.
because toxic motherhood comes from a place of pain. No mother wakes up wanting to be toxic.
No.
But they have their own baggage. One they haven't dealt with, don't even know how to deal with it. And they have an expectation of that child, and that expectation is not being met. Because many times as parents, we are hoping, remember what we said earlier, that when you have a child, that child will love you. You love that child in a way you never knew you could.
Yeah.
Don't expect that child to love
Absolutely.
you in the same way. But if you don't know that, and then that child does not reciprocate to the way you thought, to the way you understand it should be done, you become bitter as a mother.
Yeah.
And you start throwing words. Okay? And remember, you have your own baggage. So it is just mess being piled on,
And passed along.
and being passed along. So if you, and here's the thing, you don't know you're a toxic mother. Your children know you're a toxic mother. Your children call you a toxic mother behind your back. Even your husband can call you a toxic mother or wife. Society, but you don't know that you're a toxic mother. The best thing you can do for a toxic mother is to find a way to open their eyes to the fact that they need help. Because they are not a bad person. They just have a lot going on the inside.
Yeah.
And I tell you this because I have women who come to my class, and every time I listen to these women, I don't see the baggage they carry. God has given me the ability to go through and see that thing, that good thing. And you'll always find a beautiful, amazing woman on the inside who had hopes and dreams, and life happened.
Absolutely.
Mimi nimeongea vitu zangu.
Njeri.
You,
Me, I think we have gone through all the questions.
No, we have.
Yes,
We have.
Literally.
unless you now ask your question.
Yes, yes. Let's. Okay, but guy, me, I've learned so much so far. By the way, you're really speaking to me, and I'm drawing what you're saying, especially the thing of trauma response as a mother, where you have all this trauma, and sometimes you're not aware of it. You're not aware that things that happened to you when you're growing up were caused trauma, and so when you're parenting, you are not even aware that it's coming from a place of trauma. You're just reacting, and it takes that time to know yourself, introspect, and realize, wow, hey, that was a trauma response, and it's not right. Anyway, you guys, I hope you are learning a lot. I really hope that you've learned a lot so far if you're a mom or want to be a mom. So I want to end with this question. So in a previous conversation, Njeri and I talked about in the episode Mind Your Womb. We talked about our different perspectives, and Njeri shared her perspective on motherhood and the fact that for now, she said for now, she doesn't want to have kids. And so culturally, every mother wants to become a grandmother. And I'm interested to hear what is your perspective and how you deal with that, knowing that it's something maybe you would want to or not. And can you address how our culture forces women, or it's like you, even we have some mothers who are like, hey, hurry up, I want my grandchildren. How do you navigate that conversation having a daughter who is not in that space yet?
Thank you. Now, I think by now you've gotten a feeling of how my parenting style is.
Yeah.
Even before you go to motherhood, it starts with marriage. My girls will tell you, I told them, don't rush into marriage. Do not rush into marriage. I was never that mother who would be like, hey, time. I know these are life-changing decisions. Okay? Marriage will change your life. Motherhood will change your life.
Absolutely.
I sacrificed myself at the altar of motherhood. I'm now learning how to undo that. Why would I want someone who is not ready to go into motherhood, do it by fire, by thunder? Why? As a mother, if you say you love someone, you have to love them for who they are, not for who you want them to be. I love Njeri with everything in me, probably more than she will ever know. But that love is not contingent on having grandbabies.
Yeah.
Now, would I love grandbabies? Yes, absolutely. I will not lie. Okay? However, I also know there's a responsibility that comes with parenting.
Yeah.
I also don't know what her story with God is.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that was part of the plan between her and God. So if motherhood will change or abort other destinies, then I would rather she's not a mother.
Hey. Whew. Yes.
Are we together?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I follow men and women of God. There's a guy I follow called Joshua Selman. I love Joshua Selman. He is a bachelor. And trust me, that man can get a woman like this. He's tall, dark, handsome, God-fearing. But in this season of his life, he is busy spreading the gospel. Life is about seasons.
Yeah.
We don't know what God has planned for her.
Absolutely.
For me, this is what I know. And if you look at that wall, it says Jeremiah 29:11.
Yeah.
For I know the plans I have for you.
Yes.
And that has always been my prayer for her and for Shiro. And I started praying for these children when they were small. Do you see how you have your little boy? I would pray for their spouses at that age.
Yeah.
Okay. Plans for good and not evil. Plans to give you a hope and a future. I don't know the plans God has for her. My prayer is that she would not refuse motherhood on account of selfishness. But she would allow God to guide her. But that's not for me
Yes.
to decide. That's between her and God. Okay. I did my part.
Yes, you do.
Somebody who is over that.
Bado sijafikisha 31, relax.
Uko na miezi ngapi?
Hey, by the way, 2. 1.5.
Oh, 1.5. Yeah.
So if we were to round off, but you can see what I'm saying.
yeah.
So just like I didn't demand A's, and today I know maybe if I had gotten A's myself, I wouldn't be the person I am doing what I'm doing. Those failures were the stepping stones that I needed to have the impact that I have today.
Absolutely.
So let people work out their destinies. Yeah, as long as you're working out your salvation with fear and trembling, and you're hearing, just like she came and said she's not doing KCPE, you know, that sounded crazy. As a parent, it sounded very responsible to even accept that, you know.
Yeah.
But that was what we needed in that moment. I
Yeah.
don't know what God has planned for her. That's between her and God. And I will always love her regardless.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Hey guys, and on that note, if you have not done the thing by now, hey, thank you so much, Mom, for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for pouring into both of us, into our viewers, our majumates. For the new people who will see this video, for those who will see it in the next 5-10 years, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes,
You're
yes,
welcome.
yes. People want to find you. Wakupate aje.
Okay. You can find me on all, no, except TikTok. You can find me on Facebook, Korry Bashia. On
Spell Korry, please.
oh yeah, by the way,
Yes.
Korry is Korry, Bachia is Bashia, and on Instagram, Coach Korry again, Coach_Korry, Korry. Yeah, it will be put here. And where else? Oh, YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube, Coach Korry. Yeah. Also, I do run classes. And as you have heard what I've been talking about, I'm very big on personal identity. Because one of the things I have realized is you can learn a lot of things, a lot of good things, but not have the capacity to implement them. And so for me, I found that the bridge between the good information, you know, have you ever been to like a conference or like even learned something like, wow, I need to implement that, but you don't know how to do it, or the fire dies. You are hyped. This is the year. Yeah, this is the year I lose weight. This is the year I become a millionaire. And then somewhere fire dies. You know, and like, what happened? Well, the lessons that I teach, my class is called This Is Me. the reason that most of us have a gap between knowledge and implementation is understanding self. And so I teach This Is Me. It's called This Is Me Discovery Class. And that class, by the time you're done, you know yourself. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly. And what I tell everybody is this. The solutions to what you're going through and the challenges you're experiencing are not, the answers are not out there. They are inside.
Everything.
And when you learn to remove the gunk and learn how to listen to you without the gunk, without being triggered, then you're on the journey to having the capacity to implement the things that you're learning so that now you can step into destiny and step into your greatness because you matter.
Hapo sana sana pa triggered. Thank you again. Thank you so much. You guys have heard. Please, that whenever you follow her on Facebook or Instagram, I believe you do share like how to sign up and all and all that good stuff. You have a
I have actually a website.
Oh yeah.
I have a website, coachkorry.com. And yes, you can see even the testimonials. And the next class is in July.
Okay.
July 13th is the next class. We just started a new cohort, and my classes run 8 weeks. But for more information, you can reach out to me or go to coachkorry.com. And you can even book a free call with me, by the way, for 30 minutes. But you better be serious, because I'll tell you this. My classes are for people who are serious about themselves and are tired, are really tired of failure. They are not for I might not. I might not. No.
You heard that. You heard it. I don't even know what else to add to that, but honestly, again, thank you so much. You've shed so much light on, like especially knowing yourself, and not me. My biggest takeaway is don't sacrifice yourself in motherhood. That's my takeaway. I need to take care of myself. You see, Njeri, I did my nails.
Yeah, see, I told you you look nice.
I tried. But yes, again, wishing you all a happy Mother's Day to everybody who is a mom, who wants to be a mom, waiting to be a mom, who has been a mom to a baby who is in heaven, who is an older mom, however your case is, we wish you a happy Mother's Day. Wish you happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Thank you.
And to our viewers, again, wish you happy Mother's Day. Please do the thing. Interact with us on our social media handles. If you have any particular questions you would like to, anything you want to follow up with Coach Korry, you can also email us on our email address, and we will forward those questions or concerns, whatever it is, to her. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.